for y'all out there, like, what is this work? What really is it? What are we doing?
Well, I'll say that sexuality is so repressed in our culture that's why we don't even know what we're doing. Nobody knows what they're doing around sexuality.
This is actually really sad.
And that's why we need to create spaces where we can talk about it, but we can talk about our unconsciousness, we can talk about our wishes and our desires and our fears, where it feels beautiful instead of shamed. It's like taking the shame blanket of society off of us so we can explore our authentic selves.
And I think, somebody asked me, like, well, what's the intention? Like, what's the goal? What are you going to get from the workshop? And it's like, there's not one answer for that, because it depends on who you are. It depends on what you want. You might actually get something that you weren't even expecting, right? For people that are questioning, is this the right workshop for me? It's like, if you're being called to it, there's something there. And it's like, you don't have to be a certain way or a certain person to be in this space. Like, we had several people show up that were like, what am I doing here?
Right.
Is this really happening? Right? Like, it's scary. It's uncomfortable at first.
Yeah.
And then by the end, people didn't want to leave. Like, it was so beautiful. And we created a brave space, which is acknowledging that talking about sex and exploring this is uncomfortable, but uncomfortable is not the same as unsafe. And so we, work together to lean into that discomfort, and that's where healing and growth and discovery happens. And
it was also, I want to say, it was also about our growth too. All three of us were participants as well as facilitators.
And so there's so much strength in the three of us working together, and how well we complement each other's strengths. That blew me away. It was seamless.
Yeah. I loved watching you teach and just bounce around, and you were so happy and free. It was
One of the things I really loved was having such an age range amongst our participants. We had participants ranging in ages 28 to 82. And the generational learning that we can get from that, and the sense that just because maybe we're older, that we still can have great sex life. And it is about just that, just exploring for our authentic selves. We're not doing this to try to be the best lover for somebody else, or these crazy things like you read in magazines. This is really about a deep dive into you.
Yes.
And for each participant to ask that question, who am I as a sexual being? What do I like? What does turn me on? How do I interface with pleasure?
We really drove home this idea of being at choice throughout our workshop. And consistently tuning into your body, not our heads, like getting into our bodies and asking our bodies, what do I want right now? We are guiding exercises and have weaved together in such a intentional, amazing. She's just going to keep saying amazing.
All that applies.
I'm going to say intentional. Like, there's a reason we do what we do when we do it. And just knowing that throughout the weekend, like, you are allowed to feel however you're feeling. There's not a way you're supposed to be engaging. There's not something you're supposed to be getting. It's a space for you to really be seen and held in, I'm going to say it again, your authenticity. That to me is what intimacy is. Intimacy isn't about sex. It's about showing your truth and being accepted and loved for that.
Owning responsibility for our own sexuality is one of the most radical acts we can take in this culture, because we are not encouraged to do this growing up. And we get so much negative messaging. It's radical to do what we're doing.
And empowering.
It's like taking back our bodies and our power.
Yeah, totally.
Right? And owning them for ourselves and loving them and living inside them. It is radical. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah. And I actually think it was more than I could have imagined. Yeah. Really. I mean, I know that this work is needed, and I think many of us are craving it, even if we don't know it.
Yeah.